Yo, what's good? We're back again. I'm recording this on Pokemon Day right now. This is well after all the trailers and stuff have come out. Nothing that would really impact the tier list so far. But yeah, some cool stuff for showed off. I'm still excited for Legend ZA and the starters. Those are choices. I do like Totodile. Totodile's pretty nice. Chikorita. Yep. And we're gonna just get started with Gen 5 now. I don't think I have anything else to say about what they showed off. No new megas or anything. So let's just get started with Victini. Weird start. I forgot they have Victini at the start for some reason. But Victini is a pretty good mythical. Fire Psychic's a cool type. Not very many of those, and I think it's just its whole gimmick of being like the victory Pokemon is very cool. It also has like I think it has two signature moves, and I think they're both pretty cool. I think, yeah, just below Rotom. Victini is definitely one of the better mythicals. I can't wait in like Gen 10, whenever they decide to add him back to the game. Or maybe in that Pokemon Champions spin-off that they have now, where it's going to be a bunch of competitive battles. Can't wait for them to give him Victory Dance. It's going to happen, and it's going to be ridiculous. But now with the actual starters, Snivy. Very good start here. Very, very good start, because Snivy is the best starter of all time. I love Snivy. Ever since I was like a really young kid, before I ever really knew anything about Pokemon, I would watch the show on Netflix, not really comprehending what was happening at all, just kind of thinking it was cool. Snivy was always the one that I really liked. I don't know why, just Snivy is very cool. And then, I'll get into it more, Serperior, with the battling aspect, but Snivy design-wise is definitely my favorite starter. Also, I don't think Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott, that's not their official art. I don't know why that's the art they use for this tier list, but it's fine. Servine, I think is a pretty good middle stage. Nothing too crazy, but I do like it. I think below Bonsai. I think Servine's pretty solid. And then Serperior, right up here in A tier, or S tier, yeah, S tier. I love Serperior. I think my favorite fully evolved starter. There might be some that overtake it, not quite sure. Let's see when we get there, that'll be in a couple gens. Yeah, I like Serperior. Contrary, again, one of my favorite abilities. It's just really fun to use. Honestly, my only gripe with it is I wish it had more coverage moves. Instead of having to rely on Hidden Power or Terastallizing in Gen 9. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Serperior, I like the snake. Tepig, getting topical with this one of the starters for Legend ZA. I do like Tepig. Not the biggest fan, but I think it's a pretty solid design. I think below Abomasnow is pretty fair. I don't think that whatever evolution or mega evolution they give him in Legend ZA will affect my opinion of him very much. That'll be more Emboar, and it'll probably just rank. I'll rank it separately from regular Emboar either way if it's mega or regional form. Pignite sucks. This is actually atrocious. This is one of the worst. Maybe the worst middle stage starter. It's hard to say if this or Quilladin is worse, but we haven't gotten to Quilladin yet. But yeah, Pignite is actually atrocious. And I think Pignite just like completely tanks the reputation of this Pokemon line, because Emboar I think is pretty damn cool. I think Emboar is a pretty cool Pokemon. I think just below Yanmega. I'm a fan of Emboar, especially its shiny. Its shiny is fantastic, dude. But I mean, it's not like the best starter or anything. I don't know if it's very good and competitive, but I think it's just fun. I think it's fun. Reckless is a cool ability. He does get a lot of recoil moves to make use of it. But yeah, I do like Emboar. It's just a shame Pignite exists, because I feel like if Pignite didn't exist, or if it was like a way better design, I don't feel like people would hate Tepig, the Tepig line, nearly as much. I've seen a lot of Tepig slander today, bro. I won't stand for it. I won't stand for it. Oshawott, I think probably my least favorite out of the first stage starters, but Oshawott is still pretty cool. I'd probably put him just below Altaria. Dewott is definitely one of the better middle stage starters. I think below Fortress is fair. Samurott's pretty solid. Or Dewott's pretty solid. Samurott, compared to Emboar and Serperior, there's just not a lot of sauce with Samurott. It's like, it doesn't know what it wants to do stat-wise. Like, it's got a lot of wasted points. It can't decide if it wants to be a physical or special attacker. Infernape can't decide either, but like, I think both stats are still high enough where it can do decent damage, and it's fast. Samurott is like none of those things. The design is cool, but yeah, it's a good thing they made Hisuian Samurott, because it's a huge upgrade over base Samurott. Huge upgrade. Ceaseless Edge alone probably carries this thing up high enough, but Water Dark is a cool type. I got Serperior right there, also another Water Dark type. And Sharpness is a really cool ability. And just overall, just got a lot more tools to work with. I think below Mamoswine's fair. Huh. Patrat. Yep. This is the worst. This is the absolute worst Route 1 rodent, and it's not even close. Not remotely close. This thing is atrocious. And the funny thing is, the official Pokemon Twitter account today posted Patrat confirmed, because it's coming back in Legends ZA after not being obtainable on the Switch at all throughout the entire lifespan.
That's okay. You can keep it.
They did that as if that's like a good thing. Does anyone like Patrat? And by extension, Watchog? Oh god, okay, Watchog. Watchog is not only ugly, but it's also annoying as shit. It's simultaneously annoying and a complete dog shit Pokemon at the same time. And that takes skill. That takes skill to be that garbage, that degenerate of a Pokemon. I despise Watchog. I think personally we should just... Some Pokemon are best left behind on the 3DS, I think. Watchog's definitely one of those. I think it would be better if we just left him on the 3DS permanently. Well, we don't need him. We don't need him. Lillipup. This would have been much better as a Route 1, I guess, normal type, not really a rodent. I like Lillipup. Nothing too interesting, really, at all, actually. Thinking about it. I like it, but it's, it's not too good. Herdier. Yeah. Stoutland. I do like Stoutland a bit more than the other two. I think I'd put it above Victini. Stoutland, actually really not that high. I think below Hisuian Quillfish is better. Yeah. Purrloin, I don't really care. I wouldn't put it above any of these guys, really. I think above Staravia, yeah. Liepard, it gets Prankster, which is cool, but that's about it. Otherwise, this thing really has nothing going for it. Like above Zurill is fine. I do not care for Liepard at all. Here we go. Here we go. The monkeys. Pansage. Pansage is fine. Nothing spectacular, but it's not too bad. I would probably put it. Jesus. I think above Ninkata. Above Ninkata is fine. Pansage is fine. Pansear is ugly. Really ugly. definitely the least defensive out of the 3 monkeys, but it's still bad. Pansear looks like it has a piece of shit on its head. Yep. Simisear is even worse somehow. Simisear is atrocious. Panpour, that's this one, Panpour, I think is better, definitely better. I think I would probably put it just above Pansage. I do like the little water thing going on there. Panpour's not too bad. Simipour, I'd probably put just below Simisage. Otherwise, I would have put it down here, but after learning that it's closed eyes, it's just blind. So that's actually its eyes at the bottom there. It's hard to explain. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a madman. Its eyes are white. That's what it is. Its eyes are white, not closed. But yeah, the monkeys also have yet to appear on any Switch game, and I'm also fine with that. I think we should also just leave them to rot with Patrat on the 3DS. We can bring Furfrou over, but the monkeys and the rat, they can stay. They can stay. Whew, Munna. Yep. Munna exists, that's for sure. I think below Spearow. Musharna. I forget this thing requires a Moonstone all the time. Because I don't really think about Musharna very often. I would probably put it below Pinsir. Pidove. Similarly to Patrat, this is the worst regional bird, and it's not close remotely. Pidove sucks. Pidove really, really sucks. Above Grottle. Tranquill, no one cares about Tranquill. It's even worse. It's even more boring. Below Chimecho. And Unfezant, male Unfezant. I'll rank the male ones. It's a more interesting design. It's better. Super Luck's a cool ability. The design is neat enough, I guess, but still, it's not gonna be saved from being pretty damn low. Blitzle? Why is this thing so early on? Blitzle's fine. Don't really have too much of an opinion on it. Cricketot. Zebstrika's cool. It needs a buff or an evolution or something. This thing sucks. Zebstrika is really bad. Its design saves it though. I think its design is cool. Roggenrola. This is the Geodude of this game. But I think this is way better than Geodude. Not by a... Well, I won't say way better. It's not by a lot, but it is better because it's not just a rock with arms and a face. It's a rock with a giant ear on it instead, which is definitely something. Below Skiploom. Boldore is cool. I definitely like the addition of the red crystals on it. Orange crystals, who knows? I'd rank it quite a bit higher. Probably above Manectric. No, below Manectric. Yeah. Just below Manectric. And then Gigalith is very cool. Definitely improvement over Golem. I like that it gets Sandstream. It's a kind of a recent buff. It was Gen 7. That was a long time ago now, wasn't it? It was like 8 years or so. But, yeah, Gigalith is cool. Gigalith is cool. Oh, not above. Oh god, that's way too high. Above Camerupt. I think that's fair. Gigalith is neat. Woobat. So what if we made Zubat, but bad? What if we made Zubat, but worse in every conceivable way? That's what Game Freak asked themselves when they made Woobat. Okay, Jesus, that's way too low. Yeah, Woobat sucks. It's not like offensively bad, but it's not good. And Swoobat. Swoobat is better. I like that it gets simple. It can put in some work, but god, those base stats are a tragedy. They are a tragedy, dude. Below Magmortar. Drillbur, finally getting some more good stuff. Drillbur is pretty damn solid. I do like little guy. Not the hugest fan of Drillbur, but I do like him. Excadrill is really cool and really fun to use. And just a very reliable Pokemon overall. Excadrill is really cool. I think just below Alolan Golem. But yeah, I do really like Excadrill. Audino, I'm gonna be honest, the only notable thing about Audino I can even think of is just using it for XP in Black and White and Black and White 2. So that's about it. Otherwise, I think I like his design more than the Chansey line. Yeah, I think I just put it just right above it. Honestly, I feel about the same towards it. Oh god, I forgot about this. Timber, the Machamp of this game, or Machop, I guess, Machop of this game. I like it a bit more than Machop, or more put it here. Yeah, I think it's better. I think it's better than Machop for sure. Below Zapdos. Girder, probably a downgrade compared to Machoke. Its face is a little weird, and like the weird fake afro that also looks like it's made of its skin is so that's a choice. But it's still kind of neat. Below Makuhita. Conkeldurr, however you say this. I never really figured it out, but I think Conkeldurr is a pretty huge improvement over Machamp. It's got 3 useful abilities this time instead of just 2. And I think they're all pretty viable and fun to use. Conkeldurr is just a very, like, malleable Pokemon, and I think that's fun. I think below Nidoking. Timpole! I love Timpole. I made an entire video last year dedicated to Timpole. I love Timpole. Not really any reason for my love for Timpole, I just think he's awesome. Palpitoad, I think it's an awkward middle stage, but I think it works in its favor. Don't like it as much as Timpole, but I think he's pretty goofy. Probably below Bidoof. And Seismitoad is awesome. And again, ground water, I've mentioned it before, it's a really cool type. And I like his design, even though the 2 little sacks on his head do look a bit awkward. Yeah, I like his design, it can be fun to use too. I don't like it as much as Timpole. Probably just between these 2 other water types. I really like Seismitoad. Row, I don't really care. This is supposed to be like the Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan of this game. Yeah, I don't. I don't care. I don't care about Row. Soctua is a little bit better. Just because it's a lot more usable with sturdy and all that. But not a whole lot better, really. I think below Toxicroak is fine. Sawaddle, here we go. I love Sawaddle. Honestly, I would put it probably not up there with Weedle, but I think it might be up here. Sawaddle is just awesome. I don't know, actually. A while ago, I would have put it up here. I do still like Sawaddle, but I think it's like in the same kind of category as Venonat. Oh, there's a police car or something outside. That's interesting. Swadloon. This is doing like the cocoon phase of all the regional bug Pokemon very well. I think Swadloon is a pretty damn good interpretation of the like cocoon stage. And I do especially like it shiny. It looks like a vampire, like all huddled up. Think above Ammonite. Swadloon is very, very solid. And Leavanny is a pretty damn good Pokemon too. I do kind of wish they gave it sharpness. I think that would have been a cool buff if they give it sharpness for like Leaf Blade and X-Scissor and all that. Yeah, I do like Leavanny. Leavanny's a pretty cool Pokemon. Think below Flygon. Yeah. Venipede. It's It's okay. Not a huge fan, but it's decent, I guess. Probably above Wurmple. Whirlipede, this is another middle stage bug type done really good. I think even better than Swadloon. I already forgot where I put it. Right here. Yeah, I put it not too much higher. I think just probably above Darkrai. I think Whirlipede is a pretty damn fun design. And then Scolipede. I didn't know this for a while. I didn't even know this thing got speed boost, which I think is interesting. I don't really get why it gets speed boost, but it's cool. It's always a fun ability to give things. But I think just below Salamence. Cottony. I don't really care too much about Cottony. Design-wise, like it's okay. I don't love it or anything, but it's okay. I think above the monkeys there. Whimsicott, however, is very fun. Again, Prankster, not one of my favorite abilities. Prankster is my favorite ability. So that kind of hard carries it, because otherwise it's not a very good Pokemon. If Whimsicott didn't have Prankster, no one would use it. But Whimsicott is a very useful Pokemon. So I do like that. Think above Metagross. I do like Whimsicott. Petalil. I love Petalil. I have a whole story about Petalil. So back when I was kind of just first getting into Pokemon with Sun and Moon, I just like caught a bunch of Pokemon to Wonder Trade away back when I cared about Wonder Trade. Actually up here. And I had a Petalil named Cetus, like seed and fetus, like a seed fetus, Cetus, that I Wonder Traded away just as like fodder. And then after a couple trades, I actually got it back. Cetus returned to me, and that was crazy to me, and it's still kind of crazy to this day. I don't know how I got that lucky, but ever since then, I've always had a soft spot for Petalil. And by extension, that got me to try out using Lilligant in battles a bit more. And I was sleeping on this thing. Lilligant is a really good Pokemon. I like its design too, but mainly I like its utility in battle. I'm a big fan of Lilligant. Just like a very fun Pokemon to use. So imagine my surprise in Legends Arceus when I learned that it got a Hisuian form that I like even more, because it's again, the addition of a fighting type is really cool, and Victory Dance, its signature move, is also broken, just like Quiver Dance is, but you know, just physical instead of special. Yeah, I love the Lilligants. They're both very fun Pokemon to use. You can use them like in a supporting role or offensive. You can run them either way. Yeah, big fan of Lilligant. Basculin, I'll rank the red stripe Basculin because it's got like the most normal official art here, I guess. I don't know, it's not really a reason, I just feel like I want to rank this one. Adaptability is cool, but that's about the only interesting thing I have to say about Basculin. I cannot realistically put it above like most of these things, actually. Oh god, Basculin is really boring. Below Lickitung. Get these up there. Sandile. We're getting to the desert part of the Pokédex. Sandile is awesome. Look at him. He's just so cool. He's got the fact that they all have like built-in sunglasses, like to reduce sun glare in the desert, is just such a cool design, and I love how they all swim through the desert sand. It's so cool. Crocorock. It's a little bit of the awkward middle stage syndrome with him. Not quite the coolness of Crocodile or the cuteness of Sandile. But Crocorock, I think, is still solid. Just doesn't quite stand on his own enough. I think above Espeon. Crocodile, however, is really cool. And just another one of those reliable Pokemon you can always use. Just a very good Pokemon overall. I think above Cubone. Darumaka, here we go with all these guys. Darumaka is neat. There's of course that one infamous Dex entry from one of the, I think it was one of the Unova games, where it states that people used to put Darumaka poop in their clothes to keep them heated for the winter, which, sure. Design-wise, it's cool. I do think this thing is a bit of a pain to level up because it gets Hustle, and that just, it's an irritation. Hustle is a neat ability, I guess, but the problem is you're just having to rely on RNG even more than you already do in Pokemon, and that's kind of annoying. But it's a cool design. I'll put it in between Basilia and Bronzong. Galarian Darumaka, it's just the same thing but white. Guess I like the color scheme a bit more, so I'll put it there. Darmanitan, base Darmanitan, is cool. Sheer Force is a very cool ability, I think. But nothing too crazy. They kind of gave all the sauce to Galarian Darmanitan. It kind of makes this guy feel kind of redundant. I'll put him above Tyrogue under Kyogre. Oh, I forgot about this thing. Oh, we'll get there at the end. Galarian Darmanitan. This thing is unhinged, dude. Guerrilla Tactics, giving it a built-in choice band, is insane. Because then you can also just give him another choice band or a choice scarf. He's already pretty fast and he already has a pretty high attack stat. So combining those two is just ridiculous. This thing is a powerhouse for no reason. I don't know why they went so hard with Galarian Darmanitan, but they did. And then it gets even crazier with this thing, but we'll get there at the end. Maractus, the infamous most forgettable Pokemon of all time from all the everyone's top 10 most forgettable Pokemon YouTube videos from 10 years ago. And then it was it just had the effect of making it more memorable because of how forgettable it is, like Lumineon. And now it doesn't really have anything to its name, so where'd that get it, really? Dwebble is pretty cool. A hermit crab living in a rock. Not the most creative idea, but I think Dwebble's design is pretty cool. Again, not my favorite, but I think it's solid. Crustle is it's really just an evolution of Dwebble. Wow, that's the dumbest sentence I've ever said. It is an evolution of Dwebble. That's crazy. But like it's a good evolution on the idea of Dwebble being like a whole sandstone chunk on his back. Crustle is very cool. Shell Smash also is always a fun setup move, especially when you also have Sturdy like Crustle does. Yeah, Crustle is very solid. Scraggy, like I mentioned earlier with Snivy, when I used to watch the show back in the day, it's like 2010. Scraggy was another Pokemon that just kind of randomly clicked with me, and I never really got why. Still don't really know why. I just think Scraggy's pretty cool. I think below Forterra is fine, above Cyndaquil. I do still like Scraggy, but nowadays I definitely prefer Scrafty because I know how to play the game now, and Scrafty's a pretty damn good Pokemon. Moxie and Intimidate are both really good abilities. This thing is so versatile. It's just a really good Pokemon. Above the Slowbros, definitely above these. I think just below Banette. I do really like Scrafty. Scrafty's a very solid Pokemon. Sigilyph. Sigilyph was a sleeper hit for me, honestly. I never really cared about it until I played through White 2 for the first time. When I caught one of these, just because I'd always thought its design was cool, and I knew it was rare in the Desert Resort. So I caught it and just like, sure, why not? And then it ended up being like a powerhouse, dude. Sigilyph is crazy. I think this is a pretty underrated Pokemon. I love Sigilyph. Probably not above Gliscor, I think just below. Yeah, I'm a fan of Sigilyph. Kinda hope it gets a regional form or something one day. Yamask. This is like cookie cutter. Top 10 creepiest Pokédex entries. Number 5 will shock you. Everyone knows Yamask holds the face of when it was still a human on its tail thing there. Classic creepy Pokédex entry fact there. I think it's a neat design, I guess. Don't really care much for it. Galarian Yamask? It's kind of worse, honestly. I don't know. I feel like I feel about the same with both of them. I do like the little part of the rune that it has attached to its tail. Also mimics the shape of its tail. I mean, I think it's just like a little lower, like just literally right below regular Yamask. Just because the mask lore is so iconic, it's kind of hard to jive with the rune stuff going on there. Cofagrigus is pretty cool. Fun fact about Cofagrigus. Back in the Gen 5 games, I think that was when they first introduced a profanity filter. For like nicknaming Pokemon and stuff. And there were some Pokemon, the one I remember the most is Cofagrigus, but there were some Pokemon who you just could not trade with anyone at all because in their names were banned words, and Cofagrigus. I mean, if you just look at the word, you can probably see what part got banned there. That's like the only bit of interesting Cofagrigus trivia that I know. Otherwise, it's like okay. It's annoying. It's very bulky and very annoying. But it's okay, I guess. The design is cool. I like the shadowy hands coming out of the sarcophagus. Not that low. I think below Kangaskhan. Tirtuga. Tirtuga and Caracosta, they kind of just feel like a waste of a fossil Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie, I've never found these things interesting at all. Out of all of the crazy prehistoric creatures that you can choose to make a fossil Pokemon out of, why do you just pick the turtle? I can't remember if it's based on Archelon or what exactly it is, but come on. There are so many better options, especially considering Unova takes place in the United States, and there's so many so many cool dinosaurs that were found here. Yeah, it's kind of just disappointing. Well, I guess it was specifically based on New York. Maybe there wasn't anything to choose from there. Caracosta's better, I guess, but not by much. Does get Shell Smash and Sturdy, which is cool, but I don't know. The design just doesn't really do it for me. Below Dusclops. Contrast, though. Huge contrast. Arcan, easily the best fossil Pokemon they've ever made. And it's not even really close, honestly. I love Arcan. Well, I won't say it's not even close. More of this applies to Archeops. I mean, just in general, the Arcan line is the best fossil Pokemon they've ever made. Arcan is awesome. Look at him. He's so cool. I love Arcan. And Archeops, this is the single best fossil Pokemon they've ever made. I love Archeops. I don't know what the character designer for Archeops did to the developers while they were making Black and White, but they punished this thing for no reason by giving it Defeatist, which cuts its attack and special attack in half when it gets below half HP. I don't know why they did that to it. Like with other abilities like that, you see it on Pokemon like Slacking and Regigigas, that would be broken, completely broken if they didn't have those abilities. But Archeops, I feel like, I know its stats are good, but I don't know if it would have been that good. I don't know if it warranted having Defeatist. But yeah, I love Archeops. And the Archaeopteryx is one of my favorite dinosaurs. So it just makes me happy that the Pokemon based on the Archaeopteryx is this cool. I love Archaeops. Trubbish. I like Trubbish. Yeah, I like Trubbish. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. I like Trubbish. I like Garbodor. I think Garbodor is neat, actually. He's got cute space buns on. Yeah. Oh god, I forgot about Gigantamaxes completely. Zorua is cool. Hisuian Zorua is cooler. By a long shot. Zoroark is cool. Illusion is a very, very cool ability. Even if it's kind of hard to make work a lot of the time. But the design, I don't really care much for the design actually. The design's gonna nerf it a bit. Illusion is a very cool ability, I think above by Bravo. And Hisuian Zoroark is way cooler. Normal Ghost is a sick typing, and it's one of like the few times where I think the normal type actually adds on to the type it's paired with. There's not very many of those, but Normal Ghost is a cool type. Actually, I guess a little too high, I think. Of Shiftry. Bring you down a little bit too. Yeah, I think above Trico. I do really like both of these, and the fact that they keep Illusion too is it's so good. Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark are so cool. Minccino! Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, the Feather Duster. I'll get into my reasoning more with Cinccino, but Minccino itself is awesome. Like, look at him. He's just awesome. I love Minccino. Cinccino, even better. Skill Link and Technician, classic combination of abilities. A really good combination of abilities. Even though nowadays, really, you want Technician and then just to give it to the loaded dice. The fact that they gave this thing Tidy Up in Gen 9 is crazy. I love that. I've always really liked Cinccino. And then being able to like use it and actually knowing how to use it made me like it even more. Yeah, I'm a big Cinccino fan. I'd probably put it above Excadrill and Golem. And up here, and I think there's a fair spot for Cinccino. I do really like it. Gothita. Gothorita, this might be the most pointless Pokemon in existence. I don't know why this needed to be a 3-stage line. Yeah, who cares? Gothitelle, annoying. I do not like Gothitelle. Solosis is pretty cool. I like Solosis a lot. Like, it's based on a cell like going through mitosis. I always thought that was really cool. This one makes sense to be a 3-stage line to fit the whole mitosis thing. Duosian exists. Said I know why it's a 3-stage line, and I get why, and I kind of like that it is, but it doesn't mean I care much for Duosian itself, so I just like the concept. Yeah, below for it. Reuniclus, however, is very solid. Always liked Reuniclus. Somewhere here, I think below Victini, Reuniclus is cool. Ducklet. Who cares? No one. Any big Ducklet fans out there? Don't think there are. Ducklet. Ducklet sure is a Pokemon. Swanna, there's probably even less Swanna fans. This thing, I don't like that it has, like, a seashell bikini. At all. I really don't like that. Vanillite is cute. Yeah, Vanillite's cute. Probably up here somewhere. Below Drover. Vanillish. Vanillish is fine. Not nearly as cute. What do I do above these? Oh, no, above the Dolphin. Vanillux is neat. I do like that it gets snow warning. I can't remember when it got that ability or if it's always had it. I know they buffed and gave weather setting moves to a bunch of Pokemon in Gen 6, so I couldn't remember. Yeah, it's neat. I never really hated these guys. I know they're one of the big targets to make fun of when it comes to Gen 1ers. Vanillux is fine, in my opinion. For the Deerling, I'll just rank the Summer Deerling. That's the one I always think of. The Summer Deerling and the Summer Sawsbuck. Deerling, I don't care at all. Yeah, below them. I think above the eggs, above Execute. Sawsbuck is much cooler, and I think the gimmick works a lot more for Sawsbuck. And the gimmick is pretty cool. I do like all the designs, so this is just ranking like Sawsbuck as a whole, not just specifically the autumn or summer form. Yeah, both Staryu. We'll just put these here and get back there later. There's a lot of them. Amoga, I think, is one of the better Pikachu clones for sure. Electric Flying is a cool type. I wish it had better offensive stats because it hits like a wet noodle. A while ago, I would have put it up here, but recently I found a video, a vile, disgusting video, and of course it came from Instagram Reels of all places. It was a guy who was pretending that his Emolga plushie was on its period, and he was giving it tampons, I think. It was vile. It wasn't the graphic or anything, but just the concept. The concept of it was atrocious. If I can find a clip of it, I'm going to put it here and torture you all too.
Are you okay, Moga? Moga. Moga.
But yeah, that kind of permanently tainted this Pokemon for me. I don't hate it. I still like it, but I cannot unsee that whenever I think of this Pokemon. It's just highly unfortunate. Carablast. I don't know why this isn't grouped with Shelmet. I always thought that was weird. Carablast is interesting. I was gonna say cool, but he's really not. I think not above Snover, below Snover. Above Shuckle, at least. Escavalier is really cool. It's got my favorite type combo, I think. Bug Steel, although Ice Electric is getting up there. It's hard to say if I like that or Ice Electric more. But Bug Steel is one of my favorite types. And Escavalier is a really cool Pokemon, I think. I think this thing's won World Championships before, actually. I might be wrong. But I think that's pretty cool. I think above below Camerupt, sorry, below Camerupt. Oh, actually, no, way higher than this. I think above Butterfree. This Cavalier is neat. Fungus. Oh, these two. Fungus hasn't done much to wrong me before. but I really don't care for its design. I don't know if it pulls off. It's hard to say. It's hard to say if I like it more or less than Voltorb. In terms of the mimic thing, like Voltorb is more iconic, but I feel like Fungus fits more naturally into the world. I think I'll just put them right next to each other. I think I feel about the same towards both. Mild annoyance, but respect towards the gimmick. Amoonguss is annoying. This is a severely annoying Pokemon. Amoonguss is probably about there, actually. I find this thing so irritating to fight, always, every time. I hate that it's a good Pokemon, dude. I hate it. I'll just do the blue Jellicent. I guess the male Frillish and Jellicent. Think Frillish is neat. Water Ghost is a cool type. I think this was the first Water Ghost type, and one of the only ones, actually. Wait, is this the only Water Ghost type? What are there? Am I crazy? Oh no, there's Basculegion. It's one of the few that we got. I feel like I remember there being a lot more Water Ghost types. But Frillish is neat. I think it pulls off the Water Ghost typing and its design pretty well. Probably just below Manectric. And then Jellicent is pretty neat. Pretty neat. I like the Pringles Man mustache that the male one has. The female one's design is a little off. I don't know how to feel about the lipstick, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I think Jellicent's cool. Pretty cool. I think a little Gardevoir. And these two will go here. We'll get that later. Alomomola. This is a palindrome. Means it's spelled the same forwards and backwards. Same with Girafarig. But yeah, I mean Alomomola is interesting. It gets Regenerator and it has like really high HP stat, I think, which is fun if you're the one using it. But not a huge fan. I get why it's not an evolution of Love Disc, because they're pretty different concepts, but I mean, it's like, oh, it's not below Tropius, Jesus. Timber. Joltik is awesome. A big part of what makes me like Joltik is its size. You can't tell in most Pokemon games, because up until recently they haven't been like accurately scaled at all. And hell, I think they're going back on that too with Legend ZA, unless that's just for like future main series things with the whole level scaling thing, or size scaling. Joltik is tiny, and the way it moves around just by hopping up and down, like, he's got crazy vertical hop, by the way. He can hop like 3 feet in the air or something ridiculous. That makes me like Joltik a lot. I think I'll put it above Surskip. Galvantula is really cool, just a very cool Pokemon. I think I like it. It's about on par with Joltik, I think, with Magcargo. Actually, no, above Scyther too. It's pretty high here, actually, thinking about it. Oh, Blastoise. Ferroseed is fine. I think it's funny that out of all the Pokemon in 3D, apart from Shedinja, this is like the only one that just sits in the ground and doesn't move ever, except for move animations. Well, actually, even Shedinja like floats around a little bit. This thing is just like stuck in the ground, which I think is funny, but it's also the only notable thing there is to say about Ferroseed. I think in between Kricketot and Seedot. Ferrothorn, John Homophobia himself. I think Ferrothorn is pretty cool. It can be pretty fun to use. I haven't really been able to use it because well, I didn't really get into like competitive battling or anything until Scarlet and Violet, and he's not in the game. But I know what he's capable of, and I think it's cool. I think Ferrothorn will be pretty cool to use whenever he comes back in a future game, or in Pokemon Champions. Flink. This is just 2 gears. I try not to be this way with a lot of object Pokemon, but some of them make it really hard. This is just a couple gears stuck together. Yeah. Clang. Now, this is... I'm not gonna get into it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Cling Clang, definitely the best out of the line. But still not great, really. Above Lopunny, I guess. Dynamo, never gotten over that this thing just looks like a sperm cell. Yep. Electric, this thing is kind of pointless, honestly. I feel like I wish it did a lot more than just be smaller Electros. Because there is potential here as like a bridge between Dynamo and Electros, but Electric kind of fails in that regard. I don't hate it, but yeah, I'll go Shuffle. Electros itself now is really cool. The fact that it has no weaknesses, basically. That's its like whole gimmick, being an electric type with Levitate, so it loses its only weakness to ground. That is cool. That is really cool. I just wish it had the stats to actually do damage, or the move pool to actually do damage, because it's a physical attacker, but it still can be run as a special attacker. Its special move pool is ridiculous, while its physical move pool is not, unfortunately. If it had like way more physical moves to make use of, I think I would like it a lot more. As is, I think it could use a few buffs. I think Electros could be buffed a little bit. Buff its special attack or buff its move pool. One of the two. But as is, I do think it's pretty cool. I think I buffed them all a while. Elgyem and Beheeyem. I don't even know what to say about these things. Like, they're cool. I always like the alien Pokemon, but, like, they suck so bad. I mean, I'll put it... God, it's hard to say. I think above Beldum for Elgyem, and Beheeyem... probably, like, at the bottom here somewhere? No, actually, no. I think above Victini. Above Victini is fine for Beheeyem. I do like, for these two, that their naming scheme is just acronyms, but like, how do I explain it? Acronyms is like, but their actual names are like spelled out. LGM is literally the acronym LGM, which stands for Little Green Men. I think it was like old talk for aliens back in like the 40s and 50s or something like that. And then Beheeyem is B-E-M, which is Bug-Eyed Monsters, I think. Another term for aliens, another old term for aliens. I think it leaves room. It leaves room for an evolution to Beheeyem. Call it UFO, or some other odd spin on that. I think that could be neat. There's potential with Beheeyem. It just needs an evolution or something badly. It's a very forgettable Pokemon, but I kind of like it. Litwick, I do like Litwick. Pretty big fan of Litwick. I was believe between Servine and Krabby. Litwick is pretty cool. Lampent, probably the weakest of the line. It does do a good job of bridging the gap. It's not just a smaller Chandelure or a bigger Litwick. It goes from a candle to a lamp to a chandelier, and I think that's neat. But in terms of personality and stuff, this one definitely has the least out of all of them. But I do still like Lampent. Probably. That's higher than I thought, actually. I think below Galarian Zigzagoon. Chandelure is really cool. I love Chandelure. Fire Ghost is a sick type, you know. There's actually quite a bit of those, more than I thought, and none of them have missed. They're all really cool designs, and Chandelure is one of them. Would I put it in S+ tier? It's hard to say. I don't think I've gotten to use Chandelure enough to really appreciate it. No, I think it does go up here. Even if it's just the design carrying it. I think I'll put it below Torterra. But Chandelure is really cool. Really, really cool. Axew is cute. I think Axew is a pretty good first stage dragon. It's one of these things that people always think is a pseudo-legendary, but it is not. It doesn't meet the base stat requirement, I believe. I think that's what it misses. Yeah, Axew is pretty cool. I think just below Hisuian Voltorb. Fracture, also pretty cool. Good bridging the gap between Axew and Haxorus. Got its own personality. I think just below Axew though, I like Axew a bit more because it's cuter. Actually, Axew probably goes up here. Probably near the bottom though. Above Nose Pass. Higher than that actually. Oh god, I can't make up my mind with this thing. Above Turtwig, that'll do it. That's good, that's good. And Haxorus is sick as hell, especially with its shiny. Its shiny is... They went so hard on it for no reason. Well, there is a reason. Haxorus is cool. He was already cool, they just made it even cooler. Big fan of Haxorus. Above Kingdra for sure, but I think below Bulbasaur. There, that's good. Cubchoo is interesting. Having the bit of snot just frozen there because he's an ice type is a choice. I think it's a cool bit of lore that if it's smaller or ever disappears, and that means the Cubchoo is severely unhealthy or something like that. I like a Pokemon add little details like that to their Pokédex entries. Just makes the world feel a bit more alive. But yeah, Cubchoo's cute, I guess. Above Numel. Yeah, between Numel and Duskull. Beartic is kind of an awkward design, honestly. I don't like the weird patch of hair down here. It feels like it's drawing attention to the crotch area when I feel like that's probably not what you want. And I think the implication here is that the little icicles at the bottom of his chin is the dried snot from Cubchoo. I might be wrong in that regard, but that's what I always interpreted it as. And I'm really not a fan of that. Well, not below Caterpie. Really not a fan of that design element. Below Grumpig. Cryogonal. I've always thought Cryogonal is a really, really cool looking Pokemon. But battle-wise, it's unusable. Borderline unusable. This thing sucks in battle, but its design is so cool, dude. No pun intended. Also, for some reason, this thing literally only gets one ability. Usually they save that for stuff like Zoroark, where the ability is its entire gimmick with illusion and stuff like that. But Cryogonal just has Levitate, and I feel like they really missed by not giving it a hidden ability or hell even a secondary ability or anything. This thing needs some sauce. This thing needs some sauce because it's a really cool design wasted on a pretty bad Pokemon. I think... no, above... I think it's below Murkrow. I think it's below Murkrow for Cryogonal. Shelmet, I think I like a little bit more than Carablast from the two counterparts. I always forget this thing isn't part Steel type because it's, well, I mean, it's got a bit of armor on it. But, I mean, yeah, Shelmet's solid. Below between these two, between Ferroseed and Seedot. Excelgor, I think, is cool. I don't like it as much as Escavalier. But I do like that this thing is its entire gimmick is just being super, super fast. I've always liked that. It's been pretty cool. Even though nowadays it's got speed crept by a lot of Pokemon. But Excelgor is cool. I'll say that Excelgor is cool. I think between Donphan and Ursaring. Stunfisk is awesome. I don't get how people hate Stunfisk. He's so goofy. Look at him. I can never hate Stunfisk. I love the goofy Pokemon like this. Yeah, that was a good spot between Latias and Exploud. Galarian Stunfisk? I remember when I was playing through Sword and Shield for the first time, and I saw this little, like, Pokeball on the ground. I noticed it was different, so I tried to pick it up, and then this thing snatches me up like a bear trap. I mean, it is a bear trap. I was befuddled, dude, that they gave Stunfisk a regional form. I think it's cool. I like that it still works with the whole, like with Stunfisk, it would try to get stepped on and then electrocute its prey or whatever. And in this one, tries to get stepped on and it like clamps down on them and I guess kills them. I like that it has like the same concept, but just in different ways, and I think that's neat. I'm just gonna put them right next to each other because I don't know how else to feel about them. Mienfoo is cool. I can't tell. I never really thought about it until now. Are those eyebrows or just markings on its head? I never really thought about that before. Huh. Well, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about him. I'm just below Throw, I guess. Mienshao is an improvement for sure. It gets regenerated, which is really cool. This is a fake out U-turn high jump kick, blaze kick beast. That's always what I think of when I think of Mienshao. It's pretty fun to use, I think. Design-wise, there's nothing special, but I think it's neat. Below Rhyhorn. Druddigon. I've never gotten hate for Druddigon. I know a lot of people say that it looks like a kid made it. And you know what? I kind of see it, but I kind of like that about him. Just like a goofy dragon guy. I like Druddigon. Not that much, actually. Jesus. Above Escavalier. Actually, probably above Frostlass. Just between Lunatone and Regirock. Golett is very cool. Definitely does the whole Golem thing better than the Pokemon called Golem. I think Golett is pretty cool. I'll just say where to put it exactly. Yeah, I think just above Hariyama. Golurk is also really cool. Probably around up here somewhere. Definitely above the Raticates, above Ferrothorn, above Garchomp for sure, above Kabutops, Dugtrio. Probably like second here actually. Golurk is just a really cool Pokemon. Pawniard is neat. Yeah. I think it's neat. Darksteel's a neat typing. I don't know how good it is, but I think it's neat. I'll just say where to put it. I think. No. I won't put it this high. I think below Nincada. And Bisharp is pretty neat. I like that they're based on. I like the whole line is based on chess pieces. I've always found that interesting. Probably just above Butterfree. Actually, no. Above Chiripion. I think Bisharp is pretty cool. Buffalant. I like it more than Tauros. Cannot remember for the life of me where I put Tauros. But I've always found Buffalant to be a bit more interesting. God, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember where I put Tauros. Oh, there he is. Tauros right there. Yeah. Honestly, probably just like right above Tauros. I like Buffalant a bit more. Rufflet. Yep. Normal flying type bird. It's Rufflet. USA! 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 Freedom! Hisuian Braviary. I think I like a little bit more. Honestly, it's got its signature move is cool. It's got 2 cool abilities. I think it gets Tinted Lens and Sheer Force, both of which are really cool. Definitely 2 of my favorite abilities. Yeah, Hisuian Braviary can be kind of fun to use. But I think I'll put it below camera. Vullaby, do not like this dumb diaper baby bitch. Do not like Vullaby at all. I don't like Mandibuzz either. Annoying. Annoying Pokemon. Annoying. Heatmore. I mean, between these two, between Heatmore and Durant, I've never cared about Heatmore, like, whatsoever. I've just never found him that interesting. I think it's neat they gave him his own signature move in Gen 7, and then immediately distributed it to other Pokemon in the next gen. So that's kind of tragic for Heatmore, I guess. I think the design is neat enough, at least. Below Staraptor. And there's my boy, Kevin. Kevin the Durant. No relation to Kevin Durant. Durant. No relation whatsoever. I love Durant. Back during Sword and Shield, me and my brother would battle all the time. Just make our own stupid teams and battle with each other without really knowing how to play the game. One time I made an entire team of Durants, all called Kevin. It was Kevin 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the last one was called Curtis, I think. I love Kevin. Durant. I'm so used to just calling this thing Kevin. Durant is pretty cool, I think. But here in recent times, since he's not in Scarlet and Violet, I haven't got the chance to use him, and don't like him quite as much anymore. But I'm still a big fan of Durant. Dino. Here we go with the pseudo-legendary. Dino is cool enough. I think below Piloswine and Clamperl. Zweilous. Or would it be Zweilous? Zweilous, since it's a German. Zweilous is cooler. By a fair bit, I think. I think between Stoutland and Vespiquen. And Hydreigon is really cool. I just like when Pokemon have multiple heads. I think I realized multiple-headed Pokemon always get a few extra points in my book. And Hydreigon does that pretty well. Dark Dragon is also a cool type. I do wish it was better, because right now I think it's like one of the lesser pseudo-legendaries. Mostly because of the fairy type, but, you know, not really his fault for that. I do like Hydreigon. I could put him there. Larvesta, don't really care much about, honestly. Especially in comparison to its evolution, Larvesta is kind of mid. And, this is the problem with a lot of Unova Pokemon. I've tried not to mention it up until now. This thing evolves way too late. What is it, like level 61, 62, something ridiculous like that? It's insanity. I won't let that dock points because I didn't dock points from any of the other Pokemon that are like that, but Jesus, man. I don't know what Game Freak were thinking in Gen 5. Like, it's a cool design, I guess. Think above Hippowdon. Give him Hippowdon and Beldum. Volcarona is really cool. One of my favorite bug types and fire types. If not my favorite fire type, honestly. I love Volcarona. A very, very reliable Pokemon, and it's just so cool looking, too. I don't know how you can not love Volcarona. Alright, now on to the legendaries, which there's like a million of. Cabalion, yeah, I don't care for the Swords of Justice at all, I'm gonna be honest. Cabalion, below Mewtwo. Terrakion, above Cabalion. Virizion, between the two. Yeah. I don't really have much justification for him. I just don't care about the Sword of Justice at all. And then with these guys, the genies, I like even less. Somehow, Tornadus. Yep, you can have fun down here. Annoying and boring. Thundurus, bit more of an interesting typing. Still don't really care. Landorus, much more of an interesting typing. However, consider the fact that it's really annoying. This is not just based on their incarnate forms, it's both incarnate and Therian forms, what I'm ranking them based on. I just don't want to clutter the tier list with all kinds of different forms and everything. So I'll just rank the forms separately. Almost did that. Skipped ahead a little bit for Landorus, but it's fine. Reshiram, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for this trio either. Like Reshiram's cool, but I'm not very interested in these guys. Zekrom's better. I think Electric Dragon is the cooler type, and the design is cooler. Maybe I'm just like an edgy bitch, but yeah, I don't know. Zekrom's cool. Kyurem is like in the middle. I don't know. I don't really put much thought towards these guys. Like, they're cool, but that's it, really. I don't have much of a personal opinion on them. Keldeo. This is... I do not care for Keldeo. Even less so than the other Swords of Justice, I really don't care for Keldeo. Maybe the internet has permanently ruined my perception of ponies because of a certain show and a certain group of people attached to that show. But yeah, I do not care for Keldeo whatsoever. Meloetta is, by contrast, a pretty damn good mythical. I think it's pretty fun to use. Serene Grace, again, is a pretty cool ability, only when I'm using it though, not when other people are using it against me. But yeah, Meloetta is pretty cool. I think I'd put it there. I like that it's able to change forms and everything. I've always thought Pokemon that can do stuff like that mid-battle are really cool. Genesect, the final Pokemon of Gen 5. Genesect, Bug Steel type, really cool lore, really cool gimmick with the whole, like, freeze, burn, and shock drive and everything. I just realized that's based on the Dragon Legendaries, Zekrom, Kyurem, and Reshiram. Oh, no, there's also a Douse drive, isn't there? Never mind. Yeah, Genesect is cool. I do really like Genesect. I forget what its ability is. I don't remember. It's probably like Pressure or something lame. You're cowards. They didn't give it Mega Launcher in Gen 6. They should have done that. Oh, yeah. Genesect is cool. I'd probably put it below Honchkrow. Do like Genesect. And that'll do it for the main tier list. Now we can move on to these miscellaneous forms. Starting with the female Unfezant. Well, I'll put it above the Burmese and the Wormadams. The Basculins, the Blue Stripe Basculin, I don't care for at all. I'd probably rank below those cast forms. White Stripe, like just above the blue one, I guess. Well, the White Stripe one can evolve. I'll put it a bit higher. Below the Tauroses, though. Zenmo Darmanitan is interesting. Never really cared too much for it, because it just gets really slow. And bulky, but mostly just really slow. I think the concept is neat. The concept is there. Zen mode Galarian Darmanitan, though, is peak. It's a snowman with fire fur nose instead of a carrot, and its stats are broken, and it's a fire ice type. This is so cool, dude. Zen mode Galarian Darmanitan is awesome. So cool. I wish there was an easier way of activating the ability, or if it just activated at the start of battle or something instead of having to get below half health. I would like that. The Deerlings. Well, Spring is better than Autumn, so I'll rank that above the Basculin. Okay, Spring, then Autumn, and then Winter. Winter sucks. And then Sawsbuck I'll just rank above the Deerling in the same order. Spring's better than Autumn, is better than Winter. Yep. The Genies, the forces of nature, the whatever you want to call them. I hate these things, but, well, I hate their base forms. These ones, their designs are cooler, not just a copy and paste. But I still don't like them very much. I'll put them above this. No, between the Sawsbuck and the Deerling, actually. Hornatus is better than Thundurus. Landers are better than both of them. Yeah. Black Kyurem, or Kyurem Black, is pretty cool. Fusion is a pretty cool thing for them to introduce in Pokemon, and I think they did it pretty well here. Go with the same towards. I feel about the same way I do towards Zekrom and Reshiram. I like Zekrom a little bit more, so I like Black a little bit more. Still not huge on them though. The female Frillish is perfectly serviceable. Not really nothing much to say about it. Jellicent, like I said before, the lips kind of weird me out, but other than that, it's fine. Resolute Keldeo, I think is the name of this. I mean, I already don't like Keldeo, so just not even much changes. It gets like a few strands of hair. Yeah, I don't really care. I guess it's better than Cherum. And then Pirouette Meloetta is pretty good. I like that it changes from a special attacker to a physical attacker, and then it can change back into a special attacker. It's just cool. Like I said before, form-changing Pokemon are really cool. Onto Megas. Well, Mega. Mega Audino, which was, for some reason, the only Gen 5 Mega they made. For now. It's a choice. I don't even know what this thing does. I've never heard of anything coming out of Mega Audino. So I just kind of have to assume that it's worthless, but the design is okay, I guess. And then Gigantamax Garbodor. I don't know what compelled them to make this. Out of all Gen 5 Pokemon to get a Gigantamax, they chose Garbodor. Not only that, but out of every Pokemon that got a Gigantamax, only 2 were not from Gen 1 or 8. And one of them is Melmetal, which is fine, I guess, promoting that thing since it's finally in a mainline game with battling or whatever. But the other one being Garbodor is so funny. It's like almost on the level of Kingler. Actually, put it below Snorlax. I like Snorlax's design a bit more. But Gigantamax Garbodor's existence is just funny to me. I don't know why they made it, but they did, and it's awesome. But yeah, that'll do it for the Gen 5 tier list. Pretty good gen overall, but with how many there are, there's quite a few stinkers too. Yeah, Gen 5, very, very solid. And next time we'll be moving on to Gen 6. From here on out, we have some pretty short Pokédexes to get through. Oh, and I forgot to mention this earlier. With Simisage, at the point of Simisage, that was the official halfway point. the official halfway point, because there's 1,025 Pokemon. I think it's actually technically like before or after Simisage, because it's not an even number when you divide it, but oh well. It's around Simisage as the halfway point. But yeah, not, well, I won't say not too much left. There's still quite a bit, but here on out, the Pokédexes are pretty short, except for Paldea, which is longer. Yeah, that'll do it. And I will see you in the next video.